Okay, so today we are going to talk about supplies. If you haven't already bought them, this should hopefully help. If you've already bought them, you're probably fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Okay, so I just have my suggested supply list open, so I'm just gonna go in that order. If you are watching this live, I can see your comments, so just, you don't need to use the question box or anything. I don't check that, so just like leave a comment, and I will see that. If you are watching this after, then please just leave a comment on the video, and I will get back to those either in my stories or I'll reply to your question. So let's get started. The first thing on the list is needles. I am a little bit weird about needles. I really like DMC needles better than any other, only because I'm stitching like most every day. So I'm a little bit picky about my needles. So normally I would stitch with the DMC size 5. They come in packs like this. There's other brands too. There's like, I have some of the Artiste brand ones as well, and they're fine. There's like nothing wrong with them. Yep. So they just come in a big pack like this. I feel like the DMC needles, I feel like the eye of the needle is just slightly bigger, like barely bigger, like a little bit wider. It's a little bit easier to thread. So I don't know, take that for what it's worth. But as long as you have a sharp needle, you'll be fine. I have a couple different needles. Oh, DMC also comes in packs like this that's like 3 through 9. So the 3 is the widest, what's the word? The thickest needle. So you see how these ones on the end are a little bit thinner than these ones here in the middle. So like the 3 start in the middle, and then the end with the 9, they go 3, 5, 7, 9. So a 9 is gonna be shorter and thinner versus like a 3 being the thickest and the longest. So depending on what you're stitching. Chenille needles are also pretty good. The eye of their needle is quite big. So if you're stitching like with more strands, if you're stitching like regularly with 6 strands, chenille needles are really good. They're a little bit shorter, but they're still pretty sharp. They also say up here at the top, like sharp end. Tapestry needles, I don't have any DMC ones, but I do have some Artiste ones, but they're a little bit blunter. They're a little bit better for cross stitch. You can still use them for embroidery, but because we're stitching through like multiple layers, I would avoid tapestry needles if you can, just because they're not quite as sharp as the chenille or the embroidery needle. So it doesn't really matter. You can use whatever you have. I also have my box full of needles. Milliner's needles. These ones are generally like really long, and then their eye is quite small. So they're a little bit more difficult to work with, but they are available. Yeah, see the tapestry needle at the top, it's probably backwards too, but it says round end up here. So if you're shopping for needles, usually DMC will tell you like sharp end. I mean, you can see it, but sometimes it's hard to tell. So anyways, get a needle, any sharp needle, but if you're picking something out, I would go with an embroidery needle, and I like a size 5. Fabric, you can really stitch on any fabric without stretch. So like, don't buy like a jersey something. Don't buy something with spandex in it. It's too hard to keep its shape. I like Kana cotton, but you could also just use like quilting cotton. Quilting cotton is just a little bit thinner. So it works fine, but it's a little bit thinner, so it doesn't hold stitches quite as well, but you can also like double your fabric. So if you're using a quilting cotton, I would just double your fabric, which we'll talk about when we start working. But so Kana cotton, this is just a little scrap, but you can kind of see, like you can't see through it very well. quilter's cotton you can see through a little bit more. So it's a little bit of a tighter weave. It's a little bit thicker. I like stitching on Kana cotton. I don't like doubling my fabric if I can avoid it. So I will generally go for a Kana cotton. Oh, needles. You should be able to find needles like anywhere. Like Walmart carries them. But like most craft stores, you should be totally fine. Kana cotton, or Kona, I don't know how to pronounce it. I say Kana, but I know some people say Kona cotton. So anyways, since Joanne went out of business, I haven't gone looking much. I know Hobby Lobby and Michaels have both kind of stepped up a little bit in their fabrics, so I don't know if you can find some there. If you're wanting to buy online, Beck's Stitches has Kana cotton that you can buy by the yard. I have her website linked in the supplies, so I know for sure she has some, but most craft stores should have something similar. So if you're looking in person, like if you feel it, you can feel a difference in the thickness. Like if you have them side by side, you should be able to feel the difference. Like this is clearly thicker. But you could also use an old pillowcase or sheets or something like that. Like whatever cotton you have is gonna be totally fine. Okay, felt. I had somebody asking about the quality of the felt. So let me just tell you, if I was like making 100% felt, either like a toy or an ornament or something that's gonna be like handled, I would probably use a more expensive felt. But we're making like a wall hanging or like a shelf, like no one's really gonna be touching this, and we're stitching on top of it. So I didn't want to buy like expensive felt. So the felt I bought is pretty thin, which is going to be fine because it's going on fabric. So you won't be able to tell because it's got stuff behind it. But it's very thin. I just wanted something that was a little bit stiffer so that we could more easily stitch through. I didn't want something that was like because like see the difference, like this like totally flops over, and this one like you have to like bend it. So you could totally stitch on a softer or like 100% cotton or wool or whatever. I just went with cheap because it's going on the wall. So this is the one that's linked on Amazon. It's linked in your pattern, and I also put it in the supplies highlight. This is the one that I color matched for the color palette. So if you're going to the craft store, I would go find the felt that you want to use. This one is obviously like a little bit lighter. We were making an antler for, my daughter was the Grinch for Halloween, and so she was going to carry her dog with her, and we made him an antler like Max. Anyway, so we needed a lighter color. So you can see the cutout. But anyways, so go get your felt if you're looking for felt at the craft store, and then go and look for threads. So the video is a little bit different. I actually think in person, this middle color is the closest. The video kind of makes it look like this, but if you go into the aisle, lay a few colors on there and decide what one you want to use. It doesn't matter if it's an exact color. Like we just want similar color because we don't really want these stitches to stand out. The stuff that's on top of these stitches is what we want to have stand out. So whatever you can find that kind of blends in a bit. If I would go with this middle one if it was me. Let's see, I have my open window right here. It doesn't look the same on video as it does in person. So pick whatever looks best to you. And like, if you want to do a different color than brown, like go for it. It will be fun. Like go all out, get crazy colors. It could be fun. And then I just got, even this white felt is like thicker and like plusher than this. It's quite different from this. Like it's very thick and like soft and pliable. So that was just what I could find easily. So yeah, get some felt. I know some of you are going to just stitch the whole thing, which is totally fine. Pick whatever color you want. Okay. Thread. So I would recommend DMC or Anchor or Cosmo. Cosmo is going to be the really expensive. It's like $2 a skein or like $1.70 or something like that. DMC is about 75 cents. Sometimes you can get it on sale for like 50 cents. But DMC usually comes like this. Anchor usually comes on a spool. It has been lately. I've seen it like on a spool versus like a skein like this. I would avoid like the cheap stuff on Amazon. It's really, really, really difficult to stitch with. This is like super smooth, and so it like pulls easily through your fabric. It doesn't knot very easily. The stuff from Amazon is really textured, I think is the right word. It doesn't pull smoothly and it knots very easily. So if you can avoid that, I would. Or avoid like off brands. I know like there's an off brand I've seen at Walmart or off brands at Hobby Lobby. Like if you can avoid that, I would. This color palette is pretty small. You could even get away with just doing 2 greens instead of 3 greens. But I highly recommend getting like good quality thread. It's just not that expensive. So I would do that. Yeah, I did 6 colors, but you could easily do 5 if it meant getting better thread. And they're pretty simple colors. I even think my Walmart has all of these colors. And if they don't, you could easily do different greens. I just did a dark, a medium, and a light. And I like to I don't have them over here, but I like to do one that's a little bit blue, one that's like green, and one that's kind of a yellow green, because it makes a really nice mixture like for pine boughs. So I generally do 3, and I do a little bit of a variety. In the past, I've done like either all green or all like a blue green, but lately I've liked doing 3 kind of different shades of like different tints, I guess, not shades. Just because I think it looks good. So if you don't like any colors that I picked, like 100% pick your own colors. It's not gonna hurt my feelings at all. Okay, embroidery hoops. So other than like good quality thread, a good quality hoop is my next thing that I would invest in, because like cheap fabric is fine. Cheap felt is fine. But a quality thread and a quality hoop is going to make your project look so much better. So I would start there. Unless you're buying like a really like high quality, expensive embroidery hoop, I would not buy online. We're gonna start with the cheapest option and move our way up. So bamboo hoops, this is what is coming in the kits. Bamboo is great. It's so great for beginners. It's very inexpensive. These are like $2. They are great as long as you can see them in person. If you're buying online, sometimes you're gonna get crappy ones. So the biggest thing you're looking for is that there's no gaps. I've gotten rid of all of mine with gaps, so I can't even show you. But sometimes the bamboo, there will be like a big gap between, like, just like it didn't get made correctly. And so there's like gaps in the hoop, and then that's not gonna hold your fabric. 100%, it's gonna be a huge pain, and you're gonna have loose fabric, and your project just won't look as good as it could. So bamboo is great, but just make sure, like, there's almost a gap right here. It's not bad enough that I would worry about it too much, because on the other side there's like not a gap, but you can kind of see, like, if it looks like this and you can like see through it, try to avoid that. But this one's fine. These are gonna be about $2 a piece. Okay, the next option would be a beechwood hoop. This is generally what I use, but these are about $5 or $6 a piece. So depending on how big it is and what brand you're getting, some of them are even more. There's like the Nerge brand are like $10 or $15 a piece. So you can get like really, really, really nice beechwood hoops, which you're more than welcome to do. But they are a little bit pricier. So the great thing about this is I've never had a problem buying one of these beechwood hoops online and having it have gaps. Like I've never had an issue with gaps and a beechwood hoop. So if you're buying online, I would probably get the more expensive one, just because you'll have an easier time stitching. It will hold your fabric a lot tighter. So this one has a bolt, and this one just screws right into this. Like this doesn't have a bolt on it. So depending on what, like it doesn't really, I don't think it makes a big difference what hardware you're using. But some will have a bolt and some won't. Like this just screws right into this, and this is just holding it, and then it screws into the bolt to tighten it. And then they should have, like this is a flathead and this one's a Phillips. I love screwdrivers to tighten my hoops, gets them real nice and snug. So those are the options for that. Other options you'll see are like these faux wood hoops. They're plastic. So this has like a groove in it, and then this is just round and it's flexible. So you can have, this one's really stiff. So you can have it like this way or this way. So if you buy one, like you could put it back in and like stretch it and put it in here like this. Ugh. I like to finish in these, but I hate stitching in them. I don't feel like they hold my fabric tight enough when I'm like pulling my needle through constantly. So I won't stitch in these, but I finish in them on a semi-regular basis. They're a little bit tricky. They're a little bit hard just because they're a little bit stiff. You can like soak this in hot water and kind of warm it up so it's a little bit more flexible. It makes it a little bit easier, or like blow a hot blow dryer over it or something like that. But yeah, that you're just make sure that you find one with a groove in it. Some of them are like flat on flat. That's not good. You don't want that. It won't hold your fabric. So if you're getting one of these, I would not stitch in it. If you want to finish in it, cool, but I wouldn't stitch in it. And these come in oval or round. I just couldn't find a round one, so I grabbed an oval. My best trick is stitching in these plastic hoops. So I have multiple of every size. So I just write the size on it. So this is a size 7 inch. I have 8 inch, 7 inch, 6 inch, 5, 4. I have a ton of different hoops, but I like that they tighten and loosen here. It's very, very, very easy to tighten. Just make sure, like this can come out. Just make sure when you're tightening it that it sinks like all the way back in. It does need to be like in there properly for it to tighten exactly. But I stitch in these almost exclusively. I stitch in these and then I move it to a beechwood hoop to finish it. If I have all of these used on projects, especially like at Christmas time when I'm doing ornaments, I'll have all of my 4 and 5 inch hoops like have a project in them already. And so then I have to stitch in just like a regular hoop, which is fine. That's not a big deal. But if you want to make a little bit of an investment, these are like $3 or $4 each. So they're a little bit less than the beechwood, but then you still have to finish in something. I mean, you could finish in this too, depending on if they have a color that you like. Some of them come in very obnoxious colors. Orange, I think, is probably my least favorite color. But these are great. So what you're looking for is, sorry, let me loosen it again. What you're looking for is a groove. So this one has like the edge on it. I don't remember the right word. And then the groove on the inside. If you are finding plastic hoops that are just flat against flat, don't buy it. That's garbage. Don't do it. Take take my word for it. It's terrible. It will not hold your fabric. It's too slick. That plastic on plastic will not hold your fabric tight. So make sure if you're gonna get a plastic one that you get one with a groove in it. I got these from Hobby Lobby, but I know I've seen them at Michael's as well, the Loops and Thread brand. These ones are the Artiste brand, I think. I don't remember. But they're at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I've seen plastic hoops at Walmart and it's like the flat on flat. It's bad. Don't get them. I ended up throwing all mine away because I kept seeing them and went to like use them and grab them and use them. It's bad. Don't do it. But anyways, this will hold your fabric so tight. You will have no issues keeping your fabric tight. They are amazing. You can just like keep tightening this until it's like so snug you can't even pull your fabric at all. So these are great. If you want to make a little bit of an investment, I would buy, even just like every time you go to the craft store or every time you have a new project that needs a different size, grab one of these. They're fantastic. They come in other colors too. They come like, it feels like, there's like hot pink and like electric blue and bright orange. I've seen black, and then the smaller colors I feel like are better colors. There's like cream and like a dusty pink and like a gray blue color and like a seafoam green. Anyways, they're way better colors, but I don't care because I'm not finishing in them. But you could finish in this if you found a color that you liked. So just throwing that out there. The other option that I don't recommend for embroidery, but it is an option, is these Q-snaps. This is two different sizes. This is what is this? 5-inch maybe? I don't know what size this is. 5x7 maybe? So these are just like, I buy multiple sizes so I can do rectangles. So I have like 2 of the 7-inch and 2 of the 5-inch, so I can have 2 5x7s. I use these a lot for houses. But they just come apart like this. And then these can also come out. Sometimes they get stuck. And then this one has 2 ends. So anyways, that's how they go together. But they have like grooves in them so that they have to like connect correctly. You can see right there, they have like 4 grooves in them. I don't love these for embroidery because they don't hold great. But they hold better if you put like fabric between them so that there's an extra layer. So I usually like put this down and then I put my fabric or like my project fabric and then it just like pops on. If you can't get these off, usually they'll like slide off is how I usually get them off. If there's not a project, I can usually like pull them off, but don't slide them on when you've got fabric on there. Don't slide this on. That will not hold well. But it's not great for embroidery, but it works great for cross stitch. So I just wanted to, if you're gonna do like more projects, like these are great. I like them for cross stitch because I don't need it to hold quite as tight for cross stitch as I do for embroidery. Okay. If you guys have questions, you have to put them below. I'm assuming nobody has questions. All right, scissors. You could really use any scissors. You could use fingernail clippers to clip what you need is to be able to cut out your fabric, cut out your paper, and cut your threads. Please don't cut paper with these. I like embroidery scissors. I am a collector of embroidery scissors because I love them. So I have probably 12 pairs of scissors. I get one in my stocking every year for my husband. He finds me a new one every year. So some are better than others. These DMC ones, I don't feel like are very good. I don't know why. They're just like not very sharp and they're kind of loose. If you can buy them in person, that's really helpful. But like these ones are great. Nope, these are not them. I have another pair that's similar. Anyways, but you can get like super fancy ones or like medium fancy or super basic. Like I like having a small pair of scissors, but you could use like a big pair of scissors or craft scissors or whatever. As long as they're sharp enough to cut your thread, you're good to go. But if you want cute, fancy scissors, I would recommend getting on Etsy. Or find a small shop that sells like wholesale. Like they buy wholesale and then they sell them. You can find some really, really, really cute ones. When I have like multiple projects going at the same time, I like a pair of scissors with each project because I have them in, I don't have any bags over here. I have like a bag with all of my stuff in it. So I keep like a pair of scissors. I keep a needle and a needle minder with every project. Like I don't use the same pair of scissors every day. So anyways, get some scissors. Any scissors that cut your thread are gonna work. Okay, stick and stitch. Stick and stitch comes in a sheet like this. The front is textured and then the back is like, it's like sticker paper. So the kits are just getting a half sheet. So it'll come like this. So you'll have, this is all, you don't really need to print out the whole page. I did because I was making sure that I had my printer set up correctly. Do a test paper. Make sure you know how to put this in your printer. If you print on this side, it's fine. Just flip it over and you can print it on this side. It's not going to hurt anything. Like just print it again. I just use a regular printer. LaserJet is what I have, but ink should be fine as well. If you're using like because the LaserJets use toner. If you're using like an ink printer, I would do a test because sometimes the ink will bleed. Onto your project. So I would test it just so you know what to expect when you're rinsing off, because this is water soluble. I'm feeling like I'm all mixed up. Okay, so this is water soluble. What happens is the fabric-y front will separate from the backing, if I can do it. Okay, so you've got like a fabric or like a sticker paper, and then you've got the stick and stitch. So it's like kind of see-through a little bit. You can see the texture a lot better right there. But this is water soluble. So you can test it if you want, like just like cut this part off and then like run it under water and you can see it like wash away. I would test it on a piece of scrap fabric, that whatever fabric you're gonna use. Put this, like cut this off, put it on your fabric, and then wash it away and see if any of the ink bleeds. I've tested the Stickies or the Solvy brand stick and stitch with the Amazon one with Kona cotton, and I had no problems. But I use toner, not ink. So keep that in mind. I would do a test just to make sure it's not gonna bleed. If it's gonna bleed, you can just rinse it differently. Rinsing it like this way so that the water soluble comes off this way versus like I'll put mine under the tap and like wash it like this. So you can get around it, but be aware that I've seen people have problems with the ink bleeding. That's also true of cheap thread. Cheap thread will sometimes bleed. Like the red will bleed, or the black will bleed, or the dark blues will bleed. So that's why we use DMC or Anchor, because they're not gonna bleed. They're less likely to bleed. It's not impossible, but it's very, like way less likely. So there's off brands to this as well. I've never had a problem with it, but I haven't tested any. So I used an off brand. I just did a sweater for my daughter that we did like one of those embroidery cutouts. So I stitched like the letters BOO, boo, for Halloween. And then we did fabric behind it. So then we like cut it out, and I used stick and stitch for that. And I didn't have any problems, but I was stitching on a black sweater. So I don't know if it would bleed on white fabric. So whatever you get, I would just test it out with your printer and your fabric and your stick and stitch, just to be safe, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah, that is linked. The one that I bought is linked on the pattern and on the highlights. So if you have a question on that, you can go to that. Okay, The other two things that are not on the list that I wanted to talk about, just in case you are doing other projects or you're going to do something a little bit differently than me, is different sketching tools. With fabric, there's multiple ways that you can like draw on your fabric. So we've got a water-soluble pencil. I don't love these, if I'm being honest. They are a means to an end if I'm doing something on dark fabric, but generally I don't like them just because they're just not great. And I don't like getting my embroidery wet. I really, really, really hate it. Like this whole project, like using the stick and stitch. I know other people that love it, love it, love it. It's like all they use. I hate it. I don't like it. So it'll be fine. Anyways, I don't like to get my fabric wet, but this will wash away with water. You kind of have to like scrub at it a little bit, but if you're drawing on fabric, this is okay for dark. The other option for dark fabric would be like a chalk pencil. So this one is Boheen brand, but there's also like a Porter and Fawns, I think it's Porter and Fawns. But it's just a mechanical pencil and it has chalk in it. Can you see that? It's white instead of, anyways, it's just a mechanical pencil with chalk. I prefer this over this. This is good. The only problem is that it's chalk. And so as you're like touching your work, like it'll like rub off a little bit, but it's an option. My top two favorites are the Pilot Friction markers. I like the fine liner pens. Or the fine line markers. These are heat erasable. They do leave ghost lines. So like when you erase it, you can see like a hint of the line. So don't like scribble all over everything and then expect it to just like disappear. It's not gonna disappear completely. So as long as you're like stitching over it, it is great. I really like this, especially for cotton fabric. I don't like it as much on Aida. It's a little bit harder to draw on the Aida with it, but just because it's a little bit thicker. I prefer these pens for Aida because it's like a ballpoint pen and it's very thin. But this is also heat erasable. I have both of these linked in my highlights. So I like using black, blue, purple of the Friction. You can get, there's like a whole line. What it does is it's like, trying to get my thoughts together. It's heat erasable. So what this is like a rubber end. So if you're writing on paper, you can use the rubber end to like erase it. So it creates heat because it's rubber on paper. That's how it erases. So I just use a blow dryer on hot and I just like blow it over my project and erase lines. If it gets really, really, really cold, these lines will come back. So if you're doing a project and then you put it in cold storage for the winter and then you pull it back out in the spring and your lines are there, you should be able to just like blow dry over it again and it'll erase. So these are fun, but they do have limitations. Same with this. But I'll just show you the different sizes. It's not significant unless you're like really looking for it, but the blue pen, the pens come in black or blue, but do you see how it's just like slightly thinner? Like that's, I mean, it's a marker, so it's a little bit thicker. Both are great, but if you're gonna draw your pattern instead of using felt, these are great. They're linked in my highlight for supplies. And then needle minders. These are completely unnecessary. You don't have to use them, but they are very fun. So what it is a magnetic thing for your needles. So what you have is 2 magnets. Where'd my paper? Where? So you have your project and you put this on the back side and then this on the front side, so you have something cute to hold on to your needle for you. This is completely unnecessary, but they're very fun. I mean, you can just like, when you're done with your needle, you can just like do this and hold on to your needle, but these are cute. So I collect them. Most of mine are from Beck's Stitches. I have a few from other people, but there's like so many different things. This one, nope. This one is from Giselle, Alice and the Bear. That one I got on Etsy. This is from a lady in Europe. And then, oh, this one is the same one as this one, I think. I'm pretty sure. And then I'm pretty sure the rest of them are from, oh, that one's from another stitcher. But I think the rest of them are from Beck Stitches. Anyways, they're very fun. I have some linked in my stories. Oh, I forgot about my pincushion. Hold on. I'm not at my desk because it's dark over there. Anyways, they're very fun and they're a good collector item if you want to do that. But the other thing I was going to talk about is Giselle's mini pin cushions. So these have emery sand in them, so it will sharpen your needle. Like when you stick it in there, you can like hear it. Anyways, there's emery sand in them. So if you're like me and have 40,000 different needles, these are great. They're super tiny. Like they are little, like what, an inch tall maybe? They're little, but they are perfect for somebody doing embroidery because they just like hang out on my desk, but they sharpen my needle when I put them in there. So these are very fun. I also have them linked on my supplies highlight. Okay, I think that's everything. Yes, that's all I have to say. So if you have questions or if you're having a hard time finding something, let me know. I can find you different links or a different option. Yeah, let me know if you have questions and get your stuff. I won't go live again until we start stitching on the 17th. I usually do a prep video, but not everyone tunes into those. And so I want to make sure that everyone gets that information because I have the pattern set up in a specific way that I don't want you to not know what's going on. So anyways, we will do that Monday the 17th. So let me know if you have questions until then and have a great day.